Hello everyone, I am Akshay Jarandikar from Team 14. This is the video representation of Sprint 1. Main objectives of this sprint were exploring features of Greenfoot, then implementing these features in a way that can be used for Sprint 2, and creating demos of our experiments. So we'll first go through the task sheet of our project. There were total 240 hours allocated for this project, and we are the group of 4 people. So individually we have to work for 15 hours per week. So this is the representation for our first week, and these are the number of hours remaining for individual tasks. So we started on 8th of Feb, and these were the estimated calculations, and these were the actual results. So this is the total task sheet for our 4 week sprint. So we'll go to the burn down chart now. So this is the burn down chart for our project. Initially we were going ahead of the time for first week from 8 till 13th of Feb, and after that we were somewhat lagging behind and catching up with the deadlines. And this was our burn down chart for our project, and we were able to successfully complete it on the 7th of March. This is the weekly task sheet for me. In first week I set up the Greenfoot, then understood the functionality of Greenfoot, then relocated the objects using mouse interaction. Initially there were no blockers. In second week I worked on continuous movement of objects to create animation, and there was some blockers like overlapping of multiple objects on each other. In third week I worked on handling of scoreboard, and in the last week I worked on the movement of objects based on triggering of events. So initially I worked on these objects for mouse triggering events. So when I click on this box, you can move it anywhere, you can keep it anywhere. So this was my basic feature of using Greenfoot. After that I performed animation of objects. I've used movement of the objects. So when you click left, all these objects will move to left. When you click right, it will move right. Similarly up and down. This is how I used the keyboard keys for animation of objects. In last week of sprint I performed the animation of objects. So here when I press run, the objects are moving around its axis. For this I have used this turn function of Greenfoot, where I am giving a specific angle to the box objects so that it will rotate around its axis. And also if I want to move these moving objects, I have used set location method of Greenfoot, so I can move these objects up and down in this way. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Hello class, this is Ashish from team 14. These are my tasks for sprint 1. So in week 1 I pretty much started with exploring the Greenfoot API documentation. Then I worked on how to create objects in Greenfoot, how to move them around using keypads, and how to respond to mouse click events. In week 2 I worked on detecting object collisions and act accordingly, and also making objects jump, fall and bounce. In week 3 I designed a scoreboard for the game to update live score, and finally in week 4 I created explosions with sounds for various colliding objects. So now let's go to demo. So in order to combine all these tasks into single demo, I have created a simple game in Greenfoot. This game is called Shoot. The Starfighter class here is the main actor in this game, our hero in this game, which is this guy. Another important character is the enemy drone, which are enemies that approach our hero, as I'll show during the game. The counter class here is responsible for updating live score on the scoreboard during the game. I can increment and decrement the score during the game, and as soon as the score is updated, I repaint the scoreboard using this function. So let's start the game. As you can see, I can move this object using the keypad. I also configured this starfighter to fire missiles using spacebar, as well as mouse click interactions. So these are the enemy drones that I'm talking about, represented by enemy drone class. And you can see as soon as missiles hit this enemy drone, explosions are created. So the explosions with sounds are created as soon as the enemy drones are destroyed with missiles or enemy drones hit a starfighter. You can see the scoreboard going up and down. I have designed the scoreboard in a way that I get 5 points if I completely destroy an enemy drone and minus 2 points if the enemy drone hits our hero. So let's see this in action again. So the score is now incremented by 5 as I destroyed the enemy drone. So this is the final demo for sprint 1. Thank you for watching the video.
This is Ju Chamberzi from Team 14. So for the first 2 weeks, it was more of understanding the Greenfoot environment and API documentation, and week 2 basically went with moving objects and handling mouse interactions. Week 3 and 4, it was more around using the keyboard interactions and playing around with sound and the designing of a menu. Here is the documentation of the Greenfoot, and all the methods made available to the user by Greenfoot are contained in these 7 classes. World and actor becomes the main core class, driving the entire use cases. And Greenfoot, the class Greenfoot is a utility class which has utility methods like get random number, and other 4 classes are basically for handling images, sound, mouse interactions, and user informations. So here I started using the Greenfoot API basically for moving objects and trying to make the actors listen to the keyboard interactions. Here I have 2 actors, basically the catfish and the playerfish in this aquarium world. And the catfish basically moves by its own using the move command, and the playerfish basically listens to the keyboard interactions and move around. So here the catfish is moving and the player fish is moving based on my keyboard strokes. My next action item was to play around with the mouse, and here are the mouse APIs which is available in the Greenfoot class. So I tried out the mouse click function in my demo. So here in this demo, basically the player fish, when it moves, on clicking on it, it is set to reverse it. It's set to turn 180 degree. So here's the demo. On clicking it, it basically changes the direction. Playing around with sound, I have added a sound file using the sound recorder in the Greenfoot controls, and then I added to the playerfish file. This is basically to play a sound when the mouse is clicked on the playerfish. So here is the demo. When it is moving, it will just create this sound.
Hello everyone, my name is Monil Shah and I'm presenting my sprint on activities. In first 2 weeks, I mainly work on moving objects using keyboard and mouse interaction. For that, I explore Greenfoot documentation and learn basic features. And in subsequent weeks, I work on integrating sounds in with the Greenfoot environment, also generating event-specific sounds. So we will now go through the activity which I did in this sprint one. So first I will show you what I did. Now I'm going to run the demo. So as you can hear, so as you heard, when we start the game, the background music starts playing, and here I have given option to pause the music and again replay the music. Also, there will be multiple music playing depending on the specific events. For example, if I move actor backward or forward, there will be walking sound. Now if my this actor goes near the cheese, there will be sound of eating the cheese. So all the background music, the walking, the eating will be running at the same time depending on the activities the actor is currently doing. Also, as you can see, my actor will unable to move beyond this concrete wall, solid wall. So this is also one thing I learned during this sprint on activities. These things will be helpful for us in our sprint 2, where we need to develop game based on using some design patterns. So okay. Now I will again start the music. So music is playing. The walking sound is currently you can hear the eating sound. You can hear this. Okay. So here is my some coding which I done. So here you can see I use the Greenfoot API for his key down for use controlling objects using keys. Also you can see I am using a Greenfoot API for playing the specific sound on the occurrence of particular event. The music control class controls the background sound. So you can hear it. You can see for the first time when the game starts, I'm playing bks music.wav file, and upon pausing and replay the background music, I will be playing other music, bk music rush.mp3. So also here we can control the volume using the set volume of Greenfoot sound API. Again we will see what I did. So in this way I did my sprint on activities and learned how to integrate a gameplay soundtrack with even specific sound into Greenfoot environment.